Hello, and welcome to Confidently Wrong, a show by regular dudes talking with confidence about content we have no right to speak about with any kind of authority, but do it anyway. I'm Wesley Nakamura, and I'm joined by award-winning director Brian Redondo and Savon Jones, aka Captain Vani. Mike is still vacationing in America's favorite nursing home, the state of Florida. This is episode 37, and we're excited to answer a few wonderings sent in by you, the dearly beloved listeners. I'm confident that it's going to be the best show you've ever listened to, and well, hey, if it's not, you can always ask us for a refund. All right, we get to do another mailbag here, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So
Cue the mailbag jingle.
we got, Where's your buddy? He's got to get us our jingle.
All right, I gotta give you Duriel's number so we can talk to him and figure that
All
out
right,
because he's
let's do
about
it.
that life, and I want some
right,
sound effects and jingling-a-langs.
They've
I
all
think
gotta
we
be
should just
little, like,
loop you
high-pitched
saying
singing.
jingling-a-ling.
Our next jingling-a-lang.
The mailbag. Or we could do your Bane voice, Brian. Welcome to the mailbag.
Merle is here.
You could do the AOL voice. All right. So we got a bunch of questions from you, our listeners, loyal fans, also our friends and significant others. We won't get to all of them this time, so we'll save some of them for another mailbag, maybe in about a month or so. So if you don't get your question answered on this one, just know we've got it written down. It'll come back. All right. First one. This is actually from, I don't know, I'd say dedicated listener, avid listener, Wesley Nakamura. What is your
Nice,
favorite
nice.
video game system of all time, guys? Brian, start us off.
Well, even though we're in the era of these supercharged systems like PS5 and stuff,
Yeah, which you don't have
I think
still.
I don't have it. So I'm going backwards, man. I'm gonna say NES. 8-bit NES. Is it 8-bit or was it 16-bit? One or the other.
Probably 8-bit.
I think it was 8-bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even know what that means. What does 8-bit
it
mean? What are
spawned it
current
all,
consoles?
Man. Nintendo Entertainment System.
Bazillion bit?
Spawned it all. Yeah, we're probably at like trillion bit at this point.
Okay. It doesn't even, we don't even count them anymore.
But come on, man. All those classics, they're classics. They're gonna stay classics. They're embedded in our culture for all time.
Yeah.
NES, hands down.
All right. Savon?
Yeah, so this is a tricky answer.
I was thinking Nintendo DS for you, but I
Me?
don't know. We'll see.
Nintendo DS?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
That's what I was
answers.
thinking.
I think the answer for best would probably
All
be
right.
the PS3, just because this is such a sheer volume of amazing games. That's how I first got into online gaming, which was a really kickoff point for where I'm at now with it. And then, that was the first system I got a job. My first little job as a preteen to pay for it. So there's that. But I think in terms of best, my real answer is going to be the Nintendo Wii. And this is why
Yeah.
I want to give context. The Wii came out in 2006. And listeners, if you know or don't know, I'm from New Orleans. Katrina happened in 2005, a year before. So when the Wii came out, we were living in the FEMA trailer. We were still rebuilding our house. It was me, my dad, my brother, my mom, my sister had been living with us at that point, two of them. It was a pretty...
And all of you were in the FEMA trailer?
At this point, we started to slowly move back into the house. Like the walls were still gutted, but we started getting air mattresses and little bits of light. And we were slowly getting the inside to be livable bit by bit.
Yeah.
But naturally, it's a lot of people. There's minimal space. It's frustrating, right? We got the
For
Wii.
sure. And it's hot.
And that is the one time in my life that my entire family was all into something gaming related. And I still had my PlayStation. I played my games. But the reason I'm going to pick the Wii, it brought us all together. And it was almost entirely Wii Sports. We spent hours,
Tennis?
everything, right?
Bowling, man.
Bowling. We had
Bowling.
family vendettas over the bowling. Lots of shit was talked. In the bowling, if your score was high enough, you get the shiny pro ball. So that would be like,
Oh, I didn't know
hell
that.
yeah.
you get a shiny ball with a
didn't know
design
that.
on it. And so that would be like how you really decide who's the big dog. And me and my dad were both pro, so we were going at it. If you lost your status, it was intense. We would play golf, and my brother and his friends would come over, and we're talking mess, tennis, boxing, right? But I just remember my mom would play, my sister, people who had never picked up or cared what games we played. And that, especially for that period of time, holds a very fond place in my heart. So are there systems that I played more and had more fun with? Yes. Nothing else ever brought 7 people into a room together under stressful times to all just talk shit and just go at it for hours. And those are some of my most fond family memories. So the Wii really earned that one.
So Nintendo of America, you can reach Savon Jones at savonjones@gmail.com.
I think it's Jones Savon.
It's Jones
So
Savon
you can
R.
retell this story as branded content.
Yeah, just holler at your boy.
Yeah.
And pay him some money.
Wait.
What an endorsement. I mean, actually, you know what? That does remind me, like, when we had a Wii. When our family had a Wii, we also had some of those things. Like, my mom would actually, like, play the tennis game, or she'd, like, do the bowling game and just freak out because, like, nothing ever went right. You know, she couldn't figure out how to make it work. She bought a Wii Fit, which was like a balance, not a balance board. It's a scale, basically, an electronic scale, like a platform you stand on, and you could like do, like, it could sense whether you were like doing left or right pressure on the board, and you know, you could do yoga on it, basically. My mom was into that, and then you know, for like maybe 3 weeks, and then never used it again. Just sat under our table forever.
A lot of retirement homes have those. A lot
Really?
of retirement homes have like Wiis and a lot of those because they're simple games. They're easy to pick up and easy instructions, but enough to kind of keep you engaged, and a lot of that and the health stuff. Very popular amongst niche communities.
I mean, that boxing game was legit like a workout. My arms would be sore after the boxing game. We couldn't play that too much because, you know, look at these arms. They're not.
You can't see Wesley's rippling muscles, but he like ripped his shirt just now.
Oh my God, the veins. So disgusting.
The gains.
My favorite video game system of all time is probably the original Nintendo, for the same reasons both of you guys said, right? Like the family memories, hanging out together. Me and my cousins, they would come over to our house, or we go over their house or whatever. And we had the track pads, which were based, you know, if you remember like the Dance Dance Revolution pads, they're basically the same thing. They had arrows on them, and you were supposed to like jog in place on them, but like
the
in a
decathlon.
rhythm. To get your like track character to go. It was not very good as far as like the responsiveness went. But of course, little kids figure out, right? All you have to do is actually use your hands instead of running up and down. You could just beat on it like drums, and then you could go way faster. So all of us would be in there like hitting the pads, and then it was like a team game. So there was like more than one placed like a sensor on the pad, and so you'd have 4 of us like all hitting the pad at the same time, trying to get us to go faster. And you know, we were like 4, 5, 6 years old at that point. Like, what a great barrel of fun. My older cousins, there's a set of cousins that are I think they're about 10 to 20 years older than me. We weren't in the same generation, but they would come over and babysit us, and they'd be getting involved. We'd do Duck Hunt, you know, play Mario. We'd do Excite Bike. I mean, we were just playing all these like Ninja Turtles. Like, we would just be playing all these like silly games that were just a ton of fun. What a great time was had by all. So
did you have the Power Glove?
I relate to that. We never got the Power Glove. I always wanted it, and then it was in like a cartoon, right? Like Captain Nintendo or Captain Nintendo Kid or something like that, and he had the Power Glove. I really wanted that, man. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted that.
I mean, if you pair the Power Glove with Google Glass, you would be the most toolish of a person ever.
You'd be actually Thanos.
Be Ready Player One for sure, and a Wii remote on the other hand.
Yeah.
Quick thing about the Wii that was really fun. And during this era, you could hack the Wii really easily back then and put on like custom software to mod your games. And I would do that with my friends a lot for Smash Brothers, and we played Brawl insanely. There was a period of multiple years where we hacked.
He just lost his Nintendo contract.
No, shucks.
Savon, not supposed to talk about the mods.
We modded that thing, and we would add custom music and skins to the Smash Brothers characters. So we had like Solid Snake look like a Deadpool or Iron Fist or a Stormtrooper or Boba Fett, and we would add custom music, and the games would have like anime music and just stuff from others like Star Wars music. And I remember we would mod the game beyond that to where you could have custom win music at the win screen on Smash. And I used to change mine to the end part of All I Do Is Win by T-Pain. So you would win and only for my character. So their win music would just be, and all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Up until the hands go up. And it was just...
Get everyone else around you angry.
And everyone else around you hates you because you are just the biggest tool possible. Who puts custom music for their win as only who they use? Me.
Wait, so Savon, you moved to Detroit,
Yeah.
and you're in an apartment building.
Yeah.
And me and Tyler were playing Apex this week, and we invited you, and you declined our offer. Why did you decline our offer?
So yeah, so I just moved to Detroit, so I'm still new to the area. I don't really have any friends. In fact, I don't have any friends yet. It's a work in progress. My apartment in the club area had like a little barbecue social, and when I saw it happening, there was a guy there and some other people playing Super Smash Brothers, and they invited me to come, and thought about it.
They didn't know what was.
Oh, they didn't know what was about to happen.
They
I
didn't
said,
know
all
what they
right,
were
look,
doing.
let me change out my work clothes. So I went upstairs, changed, got my sneak.
You put on your Smash Brothers attire.
I mean, I had like a collar
Just to put a
shirt and
hurt in
slacks.
on
Like,
some
hold on, look, I had to get like a t-shirt and some shorts. You dig? Get my controller, got me a little drink, came back down, and I just proceeded to put the work on him.
So we were like Savon. Well, so we were talking about this in the chat in Apex, and we were like, you know what, Savon, we were trying to warn him, like, Savon, like, don't go too hard. Like, you want these people to like invite you back. You want to, play it cool. And then all of us were like, yeah, he's not gonna do that. And then when he came back on, we said, Savon, so did you like let them win a little bit? Did you pull a few punches, Savon? Did you pull any punches in this social fun get together that these nice guys invited
Brian,
you to?
I took that. Them even asking me that, I took personal offense because that felt like an attack on my character. I will never pull punches ever.
He said, I ain't no B.
Yeah,
That's what he said when he
I
came
felt really
back.
disrespected. Like, dude, I don't care if it's my mama, my grandma, a child, whomever, you're going to get this work, and it's a sign of respect. And nah, dude, homie got the work.
True battle beast.
Yeah, homie got the work.
And-
It was fun, but it was
Moral of the story:
got ugly.
Savon still doesn't have friends in Detroit.
Yeah, but I have asserted myself as the best Smash player in my building, so who needs friends when it's only at the top?
Savon is the Kobe of apartment Smash Brothers.
Ask
You know,
about me.
I just
Alright.
read this crazy story about Kobe, about how like he made his teammates take off their sneakers, and he like grabbed them from them, and then he threw them in the trash, and he was like, "Y'all don't deserve to wear Kobe's when we lose like that.
I think I heard about that. It's horrible.
It is lonely at the top, man."
So
I mean, that was self.
all-time greats: Kobe, LeBron, MJ, Savon. Ask about me.
Captain Vonnie.
I can't
All
wait
right.
to see you punch Steve Kerr in the chest.
Oh my god. All right, next question. We're actually going to combine two questions here. So we got one from Matt. Now that we're seeing more and more studios successfully adapting comic books and graphic novels like, Invincible into TV shows, is there any series that you would like to see that hasn't been done yet? And then from Brian, our own Brian here, award-winning director Brian.
I write mail to ourselves.
But this also kind of came from BK as well. Like, are there any? So, The Last of Us is coming to HBO as a live action series. BK asked, like, is there a book or a series that you would like to see made into like a video game or a TV adaptation? So, we're gonna combine all these questions. Is there some sort of property out there that hasn't been made, hasn't made the jump to live action or to animated action on the TV that you'd be into? I don't actually have a really good answer for this, so I'm just gonna let you guys go at this. Brian, we'll start with you.
From the comic book perspective, the one property that I really want to see is already happening, and a trailer just got released recently. It's called Why the Last Man, and it's by Brian K Vaughan. It's an epic comic book series from maybe like 15 years ago or whatever, and it's about how all the males of all mammals all over the world drop dead one day, and basically all
Oh, I think I saw a trailer
it's sort
for
of
that.
like an apocalyptic kind of world, and all the women who are left, reconfigure society and try to move on. But there's this one guy with a Y chromosome who survives, and we don't know why, and he's trying to survive in that world. The trailer looks amazing. So that's by Brian K Vaughan, and basically every other book by Brian K Vaughan deserves some sort of TV series. And so I'm talking about Ex Machina, which is his series about a New York City mayor who's also a superhero. I'm talking about Saga, which is a very popular comic book, which is kind of like a Romeo Juliet. They have a baby in outer space. They're warring factions of different races of aliens, and they have to live on the run. But it's very much about parenting and families in outer space. Great book. Also, Paper Girls by him, which is kind of like Stranger Things ish. Basically not paper boys but paper girls in a neighborhood who start time traveling and are trying to find their way back home. Also a really great and fun series. So basically anything by Brian K Vaughan.
All right, I never heard of Brian K Vaughan, so we'll have to look him up. Brian K Vaughan, your agent, they can hit us up for that shout out. Send us that royalty check.
Just send me free comics.
You got. Hey, I'll take that too. Savon, what you got?
Yeah, I think I've said this on this show before, but I still feel really strongly about this. I'm still a big fan of Max Brooks, the writer who put out the World War Z novel. I told you that anthology interview novel.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
And one thing people don't know is actually it was a prequel. It's the sequel to his 03 book that's a literal zombie survival manual, and it's kind of a parody. But there was also a not very well promoted, or mildly promoted, comic tie-in series called like First Attacks. And it also talks about, it's like a comic that's about some things throughout history that have happened with leading about this zombie thing. I'm still firmly in the camp that would be one of the best anthology series premises possible. The idea of a zombie war, it's over. It's been like 10 years since the conflict has ended, but then interviewing people across, and then that's the beauty of it, right? You could do any person from any country in any context and make it its own self-contained story in this conflict. I always have thought that would be phenomenal. You could do, I just think that I like anthology series a lot. So I really would love to see that get greenlit. I think it could happen. It's just a matter of when and who.
What's it called again?
World War Z, but the novel, not the
World
movie.
War Z,
I want to be very, very clear about that.
What about video games to TV or movies?
That's a tricky one because I've been one of those people who's always felt video game stories don't translate well to the visual medium because their stories are told through just different, they're just different types of stories being told.
Different beats.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like the beats
There's
are different.
exploring. There's just like exposition that you do on your own that movies can't quite do. I would really like to see, I think you could do an interesting God of War show. I don't know if they should do it because the games are good on their own. But I think that if done correctly, it would be very entertaining, especially something with a small cast, focus on the budget, and then just focus on stories between two characters as they kind of do a whole maybe adventure of the week. Like I think a Kratos. See, the problem is that ends up being just like The Mandalorian and all these other shows we talked about where it's just a gruff dude and a hopeful kid and them exploring. So maybe not. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
All right.
Would you go Greek or Norse on that?
Ooh.
I don't think it matters. Like if you want to make it its own kind of separate story, you could pick either one, but I think the premise still works the same of Kratos is a gruff jerk who doesn't know how to use feelings, and the son is impressionable but still caring of him. Like, I think the God of War game would be good extended into like a TV series. They shouldn't though. They don't do it.
We could do The Art of the Deal, Donald Trump's autobiography. Never mind. All right.
Yuck.
I did have one. So one of my favorite books is called The Name of the Wind. It's by Patrick Rothfuss. And the premise is that there's this guy. Actually, there's two timelines. And the main timeline guy is actually telling a story. It seems like from like the past. And it seems like it's the same guy. He's telling a story about his own past. And in the future, he's like depowered. He's just a regular guy. In the past, he's a young guy. He's starting to come to terms with like learning how to do what's essentially magic. They don't call it magic, but what's essentially magic, and they have to use energy though. So there's a very clear like limit to what you can do, which I like. So it's not Harry Potter where you can just cast an unlimited number of spells and spam the whole world. You need some kind of energy source. So they often use like they have a forge, and the forge they can channel the energy from the forge, but there's a loss of power. So they sort of follow this idea of thermodynamics that like you can't create energy, and as you're transferring energy, you're going to lose energy. And so they always have to be thinking about like, how do I do this? Anyways, that's not the main point. It's just it grounds the world of magic into something that's a little bit more realistic, so that you can't just forever just
They have
cast
rules.
hugely overpowerful spells. Exactly, they have to follow. And he's better at this magic than a lot of other people, but it's still, even for him, he doesn't have unlimited powers. And it's just a cool like story. It's somewhat fantasy, somewhat it very much is a fantasy story. You know, he goes on these adventures. He's interacting with all these cool characters. He gets involved in some battles and some wars. He has to, he's at a university studying some of the time. He's not rich, so he's often having to pull off these like odd jobs to like make money. He's an amazing musician. And so it's just, I would think that would be kind of a cool like extended series to do. I don't think you could translate it exactly directly from the book into a movie, but it would be cool to see that character, I think, come to life. So if you're out there and you've never read The Name of the Wind, I highly recommend it. It's very good. It does have a sequel, and then there's supposed to be a third book, but that third book, the author hasn't written it, and it's been something like 10 years now at this point. So people are a little bit losing hope that he's actually going to end up writing it, but that's okay. The two novels are very good by themselves.
Look at us. We got book recommendations now.
Hey,
I didn't know we read.
We actually read sometimes. I haven't read a book though for so long. It's embarrassing. All right. Let's make this the last questions. All right, we'll jump to these two questions from Cats. We'll do the first one first. So Will, thanks for sending in this question. Do y'all send cards to people? And if so, how often? Birthdays, Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever? Easter, Passover, Valentine's? My girlfriend and her friends send each other mad cards all the time, and I think it's weird. But she's also English, so it might just be a them thing. Do you guys send cards?
Wait, we got to break this down. His girlfriend and her friend send each other mad cards all the time. Like,
it says friends, plural.
Oh,
so.
okay. It's plural. I thought it was just one individual friend. I was going to be like, you better be reading those cards,
right?
bro.
It's the notebook. It's like the notebook. It's like a love
Something's
story.
going on there. Yeah. What do those cards smell like?
Well, we are impugning Will Katz's girlfriend.
Sealed with a kiss.
Yeah. How much lipstick is on those cards,
here.
man?
Ooh. All right. Are you guys sending mad cards all the time?
I mean, no. Like, where do you even get a card?
Hallmark.
Are these
bro.
handmade cards? Where's our Hallmark?
Walgreens.
Oh, Walgreens.
Dude.
Oh, do they still have a card section?
Walgreens,
I know
Walmart,
they
Rite
sell,
Aid,
like,
CVS.
I don't know, man. Not here. They're they've moved on. They're still selling diapers and like Cheetos and stuff, but I haven't seen a greeting card in forever.
Ooh. All right. So no cards for you guys. I am getting less good at this, but as kids, my mom always made us send thank you cards for gifts that we got. Like, we had to write them within a week. That was kind of the timeline, and put them in the mail and send them out to our family or friends or whoever had sent us these things. So I am very much a thank you card sender. But yeah, it was not my favorite thing as a kid because I was greedy and selfish. But now I like it. I do like sending a thank you card. I think it's, a nice thing, especially if you can make it more personalized, not just the like, hey, thank you for sending da-da-da-da-da, keep in touch, we'll see you soon. Like that one's a little bit less personal, but a nice thank you card, I think, is...
Wes, did you have this experience after your wedding where suddenly you had all these guests who came and brought gifts and stuff like that, and then you had to write them all thank you cards and mail them?
Did.
That was an awful process. It's like, why did I sign up for this homework? It took me and Anna like a whole year to get through our entire guest list and send people cards.
Oh my goodness.
And to do what you were just saying, personalize it and mention whatever it was that they gave you and try to make it more of a real thing rather than something that was just purely transactional? Because we know it was transactional. We know you gave us something. We're thanking you for it.
Yeah, I'm sure we got a card. Yeah, I'm sure we got a card.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
trashed,
the aftermath. You're like, yeah, I think we got a card.
I might never get married just off that.
Savon,
we actually were really good about our thank you cards. So we did an online registry. People would actually like mail us stuff. As we got stuff, we would, record that we got it. But generally, we were trying to do thank you cards as we got them. So some thank you cards actually went out before the wedding. So that, because we didn't want to come after the wedding and be like, oh, dang,
not even married
now
yet.
we got like, 100 things to send out. So we were like, well, let's get started so we don't have that many. So we did it a little bit at a time. I think we were done within 3 weeks maybe of the wedding. So we were really good. And we shared. So like I did one and she did, or I would do some and she would do some and we'd send them out separately. So pro tip, if you're getting married, start early, separate it, or just commit to not doing thank you cards. That's okay too. I just throw mine in the trash. Yeah. I read them, but then I throw them in the trash.
Damn. Yeah, I don't think I've ever, Jesus. Yeah, I don't think I've ever sent a thank you card before, if I'm being honest with you. I can probably count how many times I've actually even mailed anything. All my family is...
He's younger than us,
all
guys.
of my family is local.
He's 5.
I'm 28, Jesus. All of my family is local, so if they're giving me a card, they're just handing it to me, and I'm going to open it, look at it, maybe there's money, maybe there's not, read it, say thank you, give them a hug or a kiss or whatever, and then... put it in my little dresser, and that's it. You got your things. I'm about to get a whole nother card just to thank you. That's some extra. Or if someone mails something, I'll call them. Hey, I appreciate the so-and-so. Thank you. But sending a whole nother card, that's too much work. That's too much.
Yeah, it's work.
You're doing too much. Just call me.
But that's why you do
my love
it, right?
language
like
is...
that person went out of their way to get you a gift. Like, the least you can do is,
Yeah.
do a little bit of something for them. Nice. I don't know. That's just how my family was. I get that, like, not all families do that, and it's not necessary in all families. So,
well, my family knows my
good.
standards of, like, I'm not about to write no damn thank you card. And you could be upset about that. That's okay. But I'm not going to write a thank you card. I'm going to thank you. I'm going to mean it. I'm not about to do that extra shit.
I hear you.
So here's the rule of thumb then. Don't send cards. Just receive them.
Big facts.
Done.
Yeah, it's like those do not reply
Wipe your
emails. You know, they got the inbox and they send you something and then it's like do not reply. This goes to an inbox that is not monitored. Like that's what it needs to be.
Can I get that sticker on my mailbox?
We'll put do not reply on the envelope.
All right, last question. This is also from Will. From ages 9 to 13, I used to ice skate all the time, and this brought me great joy.
He just outed himself as an ice skater.
However, I haven't been on the ice in 15 years. If I tried to skate today, how long do y'all think it would how long do y'all think it would take to be able to do the thing without busting my ass? Savon, you had an answer for
I
that
have
one?
a really good answer for this. So I didn't grow up ice skating because I grew up in the South and we didn't have ice or snow. But I grew up roller skating. And that was what I spent a big chunk of my childhood doing. Like from 5 to like 13, everyone had skating birthday parties and all that. So I knew how to skate my whole life. But then
Which rink did you
use a
guys
skate
go to?
country out in like, Elmwood. But they had other places. I don't know. This is like over, 10 plus years. So it's a lot of places. Either way, we knew how to skate. That was the spot on weekends too as kids. It was fun. I hadn't skated again for maybe 10 plus years. And then fast forward, I'm working at a school. The school I'm working at, Clark Wesley. I was like, Clark. I had to lead a field trip for my students, and we went to this Christmas like convention thing at the convention center. And at this thing, they had an ice skating set up. Me and a bunch of the kids had never ice skated ever in life, but we had roller skated. They're functionally the same. It took me maybe 5-10 minutes, having never ice skated, to acclimate to it, and it felt exactly the same as roller skating in terms of just you get into the rhythm. That is coming from someone who has never ice skated up until that moment. If you ice skated as a kid, I'm going to treat it like it's riding a bike where you need maybe 5-10 minutes to get reacclimated and then muscle memory kicks in, especially since you were a kid.
So what level of ice skating are we talking about? Like, were you just able to move along the ice without falling, or were you grooving and dancing? Were you doing the moonwalk and ice skates?
Okay, I'm not doing advanced trick. Okay, put it like this. I could skate. I have a video of me recording myself with headphones and skating and jamming and kind of jigging and sent it to my friends. So enough to do that. I'm not doing spins and going backwards and whatnot, but I could skate and have enough confidence to where I could do things up. You know, I could move my arms, dap people off, and wave and all that. Not just like a kid who's like, if I do anything else, I'm gonna fall.
So you're saying on roller skates you can go backwards and stuff?
Absolutely not.
All right.
But also, I'm not enough of a risk taker to
cannot.
find out if I can. So,
All right. I can go backwards on ice skates and rollerblades, but not on roller skates. Roller skates are hard. You can't, like bank like on inline skates and ice skates. You can set the edge and turn. Roller skates don't do that. Like if you try and do that, you just keep going straight. Like there's no. I don't understand how roller skates you turn. You really gotta like do the step.
Skates
over.
are for casuals.
That's the only way. I don't.
That's what
yeah,
skates are for
get it.
casuals. Inlines are for like performance people who really want to, it's like a mountain bike and like a street bike or like the little old school.
But you look way cooler dancing on roller skates than you do dancing on rollerblades.
Yeah,
Like,
you're giving up drip for
like,
functionality.
Yeah.
Do you want to be the fastest or do you want to be the freshest?
I hear you. All right. Well, cats, it turns out 5 to 10 minutes is the empirical answer. So I hope you were looking for a literal answer because that's what you got. That wraps up our show. We'll have another one next week. Mike will be back, hopefully, from his Florida Gator COVID vacation. Hit us up on socials, Instagram, and where else are we? Twitter, sort of. Mostly on Instagram, @confidently_pod. Visit all our sponsors. This week we were sponsored by Nintendo for about 10 minutes before Savon lost us our check. Thanks a lot, Savon. And hit us up. Also, you should tell us what would you want to see turned into a TV show or a movie. Maybe there's something out there we're missing, some content that we should consume. Graphic novels out there, maybe that you're into.
Maybe
I know
this
Miles,
podcast.
you got some. Maybe, yeah. Turn this into a movie. Everyone would watch that. It's dynamic, we're here, we're sitting, but we move left to right sometimes. Miles, I'm sure you got recommendations for us. Send it our way. We'll check them out. Everybody else, have a great end of your summer, really. This is kind of wrapping up the summertime. Not weather-wise, but, in terms of timeline-wise. Have a good one.
Peace, people.
Bye-bye.